When it comes to splitting firewood, the one factor that gets a lot of attention is speed. How fast can you split and how much can you split in a given amount of time? So recently I got an email from a viewer, Kevin, how you doing? And he was wondering what I do to increase my speed when splitting, but maintain my control over the size of splits coming off the end of the splitter. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to do a little speed test and see the difference between the single wedge, the 4-way wedge, and the 6-way wedge. So what I've got here, I've got 3 rounds of maple, and they are all about the same size. And I want to get out of those pieces, I want pieces that are kind of like this size right here. Just all kind of like a consistent, nice, smaller 2, 3 inch, maybe 4 inch piece. So I've got the 4-way ready, I've got the 6-way ready. Let me know right now down in the comments what you think is going to be the fastest to produce those size pieces of splits with these size rounds. Is it going to be the single wedge? Is it going to be the 4-way? Is it going to be the 6-way? Take your guess right now down in the comments. So the one thing that comes into mind whenever you're talking about speed when splitting firewood is everyone focuses on the cycle time. But the one thing I'm going to try to do in this little demonstration is one factor that can really make a difference, and that is utilizing each of those cycles of your ram against a wedge. But what I mean by that is sometimes instead of just sending a piece through to split again, stack those pieces up and send 2, maybe 3 pieces through to be resplit. That's going to be the key that's a little, that I think is going to be a factor with the 6-way, is I think on the resplits of the 6-way, I'm not going to have as much control of my split sizes, but we'll find out. All right, so you ready? Are you ready? Let this splitter speed test begin right now. So I've taken the other pieces off the log lift just because I want to be able to use this as like a staging platform for some of the resplitting. And I think what I'm going to do is start with the single. We're going to go with the single wedge first, and then we'll go the 4-way and then the 6-way. I won't know the times until I go in to post-production and edit this, so you'll see the times on screen though. All right, so now on to the 4-way. Now with the 4-way, what I'm going to probably do is split this into 4 pieces and then resplit those pieces. So this is where having an adjustable wedge is also going to be a factor. got hung up on this knot. All right, so now it's time for the 6-way. And I'm guessing that a lot of you probably picked this as your winner. So let's find out. I am going to resplit them though to try to get them down to the same size. So I think that's going to be one factor that comes into play, but let's find out. All right, so like I said, I won't know the times until I go in and produce this and add the timers on when I edit. But let's just take a look at the end product as far as speed in comparison to control and consistency of the finished splits. All right, so up first, the round that went through the single wedge. 18 pieces. They all look, to me anyway, they all look fairly consistent. Some of them a little big, that one's a little big, but overall I would say very decent looking splits. Consistent. I'm pretty happy with that end product right there. The other thing is the scraps right there. We got a few, five little pieces of scrap kindling. So again, there is the end result, 18 pieces from the single wedge. All right, so here are the pieces, the splits off of the 4-way round that went through the 4-way. Again, you can see here, nice consistency, one little smaller piece there. But then the other thing with this round is we did run in to this knot. So that kind of threw off these two pieces here. But so we had 22 pieces that were pretty consistent. And then we had 5 pieces that were kind of snarly and kind of broken up. You know, like this piece right here. I mean, I don't know, if this is going to a restaurant, I'm gonna probably discard that. I'm gonna probably discard this and this. So like those 5 pieces that were with the knot, I'd probably leave those out. So we ended up with 23 nice, decent sized splits. Like I said, that one there, that's a little bit small. But again, overall, pretty decent. The scraps from the 4-way, right here. Nothing too much. A couple bigger pieces of kindling to use up. And now for the 6-way. So here are the splits from the 6-way wedge. And the one thing you can notice, I hope anyway, is that the consistency is not very consistent. Kind of some bigger pieces there, some pretty smaller pieces down here. There's a little piece. There's another little piece. There's a decent size, decent piece right there. But overall, the consistency is not there. There's more pieces. There's 33 pieces, I believe I counted, somewhere close to that. But yeah, just some of these things, like this piece, small. This piece, fairly decent. This piece probably should have been split again. This piece, again, not very consistent. And here is all of the scrap that it made. So almost twice as much scrap. Did get some ugly looking pieces, and a lot of pieces didn't split very clean. You can see here, like, it's kind of roughed up there. This piece, here's another one. Couple little pieces hanging on there. But yeah, look, and this piece here, I mean, look at, not that this really matters, but it could matter. It could matter if you had a customer that was a restaurant. This might look like, scrappy firewood. So again, there's a look, there's the product of the single wedge. And I'm not sure again what the time is. There's the product of the 4-way with some scraps. And then there is the 6-way. So the person that emailed me, they were wondering about splitting down smaller pieces because they did have a customer, a restaurant, that wanted the smaller splits. And so that's what they were wondering about, like what my thoughts were about speed and being able to split faster. What way was, more efficient? Single wedge, 4-way, 6-way. And again, it all comes down to, what your desired end product needs to be. So if you're just splitting for someone that's heating or burning in a fire pit or yourself, and you don't care how the wood looks, the 6-way right here, I think, would be, like I said, I don't know the times yet, but I'm guessing the 6-way is the quickest. But your end product, not as pleasing to the eye. The 4-way worked pretty good. We had a couple knotty pieces. Again, fairly decent on the consistency, but the single wedge, and again, not without knowing the times, I'm thinking it was close enough to where the trade-off between the end product, the consistency, the look of the end product, the reduced amount of scrap, I'm thinking that would be pretty comparable to the 4-way and the 6-way. The trade-offs are always there. I know a lot of times people always think of splitting firewood as a trade-off between speed and power. Which one do you want more of? Do you want speed or do you want power? But I think there's another way to look at it, and it's right here. Speed versus end product. The faster you go with the 6-way, I think your end product suffers a little bit more. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that little splitting speed test here in the Back 40 Firewood Woodyard, showing the difference both in the time it takes with the single, the 4-way, and the 6-way wedge, but also then the end product and a look at the consistency and the splits between the single, the 4-way, and the 6-way wedge. If you enjoyed it, consider checking out this video right here. And come back again. We'll see you next time. Stay safe, have fun, and be cool.